All right, so this video is kind of about the cliche of gear doesn't matter, right? There are still a lot of people out there who think that you have to have a DSLR or, you know, DSLR equivalent, right, to take good photos. That's just really not the case. In fact, most of the time, photos from your smartphone are perfectly acceptable. But anyway, so what I've done here is if you really want a DSLR, you don't have to spend that much money and you can still get decent results. So what I've got is a Canon 20D that I got used. This cost me $70 and it's from 2004. It's got 8 megapixels and about a 1-inch LCD on the back. So that's our camera body. And then I also picked up a $50 18 to 55 millimeter EFS. Now, this is cheaper because it's a crop sensor lens, and this happens to also be a crop sensor body. Now, this lens is actually much newer than this body, but still relatively cheap. So camera, lens, $120. Obviously, if you're doing landscapes, which is what we intend to do with this and what I've been doing with it for the last couple of weeks, you'll need a tripod. Now, you could spend $100+ on a tripod, or you could pick up one of these little mini Manfrotto deals. It's a little desktop tripod, and it won't support a lot of weight, but it will support the weight of our lens and our camera, so it's perfectly fine to use here. And it's only about $20. So we're up to $140 totally for the kit. Now, here's where things get interesting. This camera does not run off SD cards. And it runs off an older type of memory card called a compact flash card. So here's a little compact flash card. You can get, this is a 4 gig, you can get it off Amazon for about $20. So that brings us up to 160. And then of course you need a way to read the card. So you can get one of these USB readers that has, this one has a whole bunch. It's got compact flash, micro SD, SD, a whole bunch of different stuff. And you can get one of these for about another $20. Can we get good images, right? This is only an 8 megapixel sensor. So obviously, it's not going to replace my 6D Mark II anytime soon, but it's a perfectly adequate little camera. And in fact, I'll show you some images that I've gotten over the last couple of weeks. So as you can see, it's a perfectly competent little camera. Now there are things you do need to know if you're going to use an older camera like this. First thing is you want to get one with a battery, because finding these batteries is, let's be honest, very hard. That's the reason why I only have one of them. You want to make sure that you get a charger with it so you can obviously charge your battery. Another thing to remember, there's no live view on a camera like this. This LCD gives you a little bit of image review, but it really doesn't do that much. And then another thing that you might not consider, now this is if you're using a tabletop tripod, because there's no live view, you have to look through the viewfinder. And if you have enough light to just go ahead and shoot without needing a tripod, that's fine. But if you don't, well, here's some footage of me trying to use this in the field where I have to lay down to look through the viewfinder. Does limit your options a little bit. Overall, it's a competent camera that you can make good images with, and it doesn't have to cost you an arm and a leg. Of course, if you want the creature comforts and more megapixels, you know, if you want a higher quality image, what you really do need to get is a better DSLR. But if you're stuck on, I have to have a DSLR to do photography, you can do really good work with a kit that's $200. So you don't really need a whole bunch of money to be able to do good photos and use a proper camera. If you like the video, go ahead and hit the like button. If you have any comments, you know, hey, what if you use this gear, that sort of thing, go ahead and leave them below, any, you know, questions or comments. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe, and don't forget to hit the little bell so that you get notified when we have new videos, and I'll see you all tomorrow.